Hi, everyone. I hope you hear me all right. I just want to first of all I want to welcome you to Level Up Your Lessons with Seven Generation Games. As Maria said, my name is Annette Mennem. I am the Native American Center Director at Minot State University in Minot, North Dakota. I am an enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Ojibwe. I graduated from Turtle Mountain Community College during a time when there were no four-year programs at tribal colleges. So I moved to Minot to finish my degree. I've earned 2 degrees from MSU, or Minot State University. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education and a master's degree in management. And along the way, I've made Minot my home. I'm a mother of 3 and a cookum, which means grandma, of 4 with 1 on the way. After earning my elementary ed degree, I taught 4th grade in Newtown, North Dakota on the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation, also known as the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation. In 2003, I started as a math instructor at the Quinton and Burdick Job Corps Center here in Minot, where a majority of the student employees were minority. And of that minority, the largest was Native, or Indigenous. In 2011, Wiley Hammond retired as the Native American Center Director here at Minot State University, so I applied for his position. He helped me along the way here at Minot State, and if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I could have made it to graduation. Centers like ours are very important part of Indigenous student success. Here at Minot State, we have about 4% of our population is Native. I have a personal goal to make that about 10% of our population, so I'm working on that. Part of my recruitment. Minot State is one of 2 Native American centers left in the state institutions in Minot in North Dakota. I grew up and was educated on the reservation. I attended a dual final, the Bureau of School. It was a different than I was in generations to not go to a board school. Going to the school that I went to on the reservation, I learned that Indigenous people, what I learned about me was that we were part of the history and not part of the present. And it actually took me moving away to learn about our Indigenous people. It was the way things were then and still are until now. And I say that because there's a lot of change happening and it's for the good. My relationship with 7 Generation Games, a few years back, I met the president and founder of 7 Generation Games, Dr. Anne Maria DeMars. And on one of Anne's visits to North Dakota, she bought me lunch. She told me about these math games based on Indigenous tribes. At that time, I believe it was Lakota, and Ojibwe. And since then, I know they've added like Spanish and they're working with the Navajo Nation to develop games for them. When I met with Anne and she introduced the games, I was interested as a parent of a school-age child and a descendant of the Ojibwe Nation. And I left that day with a copy of the games on a USB drive for my kid to avoid the summer slide. And as many of you know, math is one of those subjects that if you don't use it, you lose it. So I took it home, put the game on my daughter's computer, and watched her be challenged. Not only was she challenged by the math, but the cultural teachings. I hope that entices you a little bit to take a look at the games. Since that time, I've worked with Dr. DeMars and her team on a few projects and have gained a respect for who they are and what they do. So now I'm going to talk about a few things that make 7 Generation Games a great choice for educators and parents. First and foremost, many of the games are free. Next, I wanted to mention that the owners and developers of these games are very passionate about making sure that no child should have to sacrifice learning math for culture or culture for math. They are generally good people. Many of the games are free. During the development of the 7 Generation Games, any data collected from research and development was made available to any tribal nation research groups. That is crucial in times. In times past, people would go to the reservations and they would use our youth for research, but never share the data, which is extremely important for funding support for tribal nations. Many of the games are free. There's another reason why 7th generation games are good for educators and parents, the cross curriculum. As a classroom teacher, we are always looking for ways to incorporate other subjects. So many things to teach in so little minutes in a day. 7th generation games are not an add-on, but an integral part of teaching and learning. Many of the games are free. 7th generation games uses involved development. Indigenous and non-Indigenous youth and their parents play the games, gave feedback, suggestions, and then saw those ideas designed into game updates. Cool, huh? That's what my kid said when she first showed me how to take a canoe down a river to collect important berries for Cookham to help heal people. Many of the games are free. The games are developed alongside elders and subject matter experts. Nothing was finalized without their nods of approval. Now, I can go on and on and on. However, once this webinar is finished, you will be adding to this list. I hope you learn and learn. I hope it's a lot of fun. Finally, I just add that as educators and parents, we must adapt to challenging situations. During COVID-19, the challenges are felt throughout your workplaces and homes. So let 7th generation games help you deal with these challenges by providing an educational research that brings culture to you. Thank you so much for hearing me.